Hello there in internet land. This is episode 22 of the Stop the Damn Match Wrestling Podcast with my extremely creaky chair. I'm your host, Phil Lamington. Seated to my left is JB. Seated to my right is Shay. We're going to skip the intros. We're going to get straight into it because we just finished watching night 2 of WrestleMania 39. Wow. This is the first WrestleMania that Triple H has booked. And sure, he still had some remnants of Vince's long-term story. But, wow. Last year's WrestleMania was pretty good. But this is the first time in a long time where a WrestleMania has been really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. There were some good matches on this card.
I mean, there was some clunkers too. There's always going to be some kind of a clunker somewhere.
Unless you're WrestleMania 17, you can't be perfect.
Or Mania 14.
Yeah? Yep.
Right. So, Jesus, I'm going to drop my book. I was doing really well too. I was doing so well.
You're having a Shane O'Mac moment here.
Oh, God.
We'll get to that.
So, some of the matches JB missed because...
I was hungover.
Yeah.
I was very hungover.
But we also have a guest person sending in their results and scores because they watched it, which happens to be Beck.
Oh. Very good. Very good. So we'll hear from her, I guess.
I'm not going to hear from her directly.
Her
but
expert opinions. Expert in air quotes.
AKA wrong opinions.
Terribly wrong opinions. Sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm not. That's what Big Brothers are for. It's in the contract.
Oh, she's probably just upset because Randy Orton wasn't on the card. But still.
Everyone's upset Randy Orton wasn't on the card.
Apparently he's cleared and is ready to be back.
Good.
So.
Good.
Same with Riddle.
Good.
I'd say that's coming up probably very soon.
Right, so the first match of the card was the United States Championship match between the United States Champion Austin Theory, or as I like to refer to him as Default Creator Wrestler number 3, and John Cena, and his dad haircut with his bald spot.
He's gone old like Fred Durst has gone old, and I don't like it.
At least Fred Durst wears a cap.
Yeah, but now Fred Durst has got like a grey beard. The way John Cena's got dad hair and a bald spot. He used to wear like backwards baseball caps and basketball jerseys, and now he's old.
And used to say, choke on D's nuts.
Which means I'm old.
He still wears jorts.
He still wore jorts.
That's nothing to be proud of. Yeah, the only person who's ever made jorts work was Stone Cold Steve Austin, all right?
I don't know.
Just saying.
Cena did it pretty good.
Right, so, look, for me, this, again, like we do with most of these pay-per-views, we're not going to give you the blow-by-blow. Like, go and watch this stuff and make your own opinion on stuff. But I'm just going to give you sort of generic thoughts and how I read the match.
And you're not even going to have to try too hard because WWE's, like, WrestleMania Facebook page was putting up running highlights of the matches.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to wait until it comes. Oh, you don't even have to buy binge and stream it. You don't have to wait for, like, some YouTuber to upload a backwards flipped video so YouTube doesn't know what's going on. WWE themselves put a lot of running highlights on their actual Facebook page. So it's easier than ever to find WrestleMania highlights right now.
I did notice that on Instagram, because I did jump on Instagram today. And I did avoid spoilers, but they were putting up clips, but they were about half an hour after the match was over.
Yeah.
So they gave you enough time to sort of go, okay, it's over, and then put up something so that you could go, yeah, no, skip that. So I avoided...
Not Twitter, though. Twitter was live.
Yeah, well,
the Roman and Cody match was happening, and I was on Twitter, and they put up like the entrances, and I'm like, exit.
Shit.
We're done.
right. So the first match, the US title match, to me, the match seemed pretty generic. Like, it was pretty by the numbers, and I put this up on I think it was I can't remember where I put it up, but I wrote it up
Facebook.
somewhere.
It would have been Facebook.
Yeah,
This-
it's Facebook.
This match felt like a throwback to the old Hulk Hogan matches from the 80s.
It was Facebook. I saw that comment.
Yeah.
It was definitely Facebook. Anyway,
Yes.
continue.
Um,
I didn't see the match. Can John Cena still go?
He's still John Cena, so it's
He
still
never
the
really,
same
he never
five
really
moves.
went.
Yeah, it's the same 5 moves of doom.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And it's the same John Cena thing of he can't be beaten clean.
Did Austin Theory look good?
I mean, he was all right.
Okay.
But the match was just a typical John Cena match. Which
With
was
him
pretty-
losing.
Which was pretty much a typical Hulk Hogan match from the 80s.
Yeah, right.
You know, he gets beaten up for a lot of it, locked into a submission move, and then gets out of it and starts hitting his equivalent of the big boot and the finger point and all that bullcrap. But John Cena's version of
Yeah,
it.
you can't see me in the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Yeah, and then eventually he locks in the STF, but the referee's down.
Right.
And because Theory's tapping, so John Cena lets go of the hold and starts celebrating.
Right.
Despite the fact there was no referee there to say, ring the damn bell. And then Theory hits him with a low blow, hits him with the A-Town down, pins him, and wins.
So it seems like nobody's really coming out of this match as a winner here.
No,
What does it do to Austin Theory's credibility? Nothing.
nothing.
You cheated to win a match against John
it
Cena.
doesn't advance him in any way.
Although I don't think John Cena beating Austin Theory would have advanced John Cena in any way either.
No.
Yeah, I which sucks because the verbal build up to this match was excellent. John Cena going after Austin Theory was brilliant.
Mm.
Verbally.
But here's the problem I have before I ask Shay for his thoughts. You've got a guy who's super over like LA Knight, not on the card. You've got John Cena on the card. I mean, what benefit has beating John Cena going to do to Austin Theory?
Nothing.
None. You could have had a far better and more competitive match and an even better build if it was Austin Theory versus LA Knight.
That would be a good match.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Dummy.
LA Knight in LA in SoFi Stadium. Like, it works on so many levels.
And you've got a guy in LA Knight who can talk people into the building.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is just phenomenal on a microphone.
Not to mention he is over as fuck right now.
Yeah.
You hear in the what was it? It was an over the top rope, I think, to get into the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I think there was a selector to get into that. He got eliminated, and people booed the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Actually, no,
It's bad. What, he didn't even get in the Andre the Giant battle.
sorry, I think it was actually the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which was held on SmackDown. It wasn't held on
Yeah.
Mania or the
Oh,
pre-show.
really?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
held on the SmackDown before. Sorry, it was the actual Andre the Giant Battle Royal because that's the one that
Bobby Lashley.
Lashley
won.
won. And he got eliminated by the big fella, the Aussie from NXT.
Wait, Grayson Waller?
Is it Grayson Waller? He wears like the tugboat bloody outfit. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Shit. I think it might be Grayson Waller, but he's like a big dude, but he goes from the top rope quite a bit.
That Kiwi looking dude?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I can picture him in my head. I can't remember his name.
You guys keep talking, I'll look it up.
He's going to find it.
Yeah.
Dummy, yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I gave the match 2 out of 5. I thought it was really just generic, and it kind of didn't do much for the crowd either. Like, it just really just...
It was a lose-lose situation, I guess.
And
like what, as we said, like Austin Theory's not coming out of this any better.
no,
And John Cena winning proves nothing.
no.
A 15-time WWE World Champion beating Austin Theory for a US title, like, irrelevant.
All it sets up is tomorrow on Raw, he's going to come out and say, I beat John Cena.
Yeah.
And then someone like Braun Breaker is going to show up from NXT and beat him and win the US title.
Further making this match even more irrelevant.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a shame. That's a shame because I really enjoyed watching the verbal build-up between these two.
It just would have been...
But it doesn't...
It doesn't further anyone.
It would have been a good SmackDown main event, maybe. It would have been good to, like, tune people into SmackDown or something. It just didn't feel like... It felt sort of out of place on a Mania card. Because it didn't further anyone's evaluation in the eyes of the fans.
Right. So, going to our satellite correspondent, Beck, she gave it a 2 as well.
I found it, by the way. It's Bronson Reed.
Ah, Bronson. Oh, yep. Yeah.
The big Kiwi guy who's from Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Beck gave it a 2 as well. So, Seamus, what do you reckon?
I give it a 2. As you said before, it's generic Cena match, number fucking 25. You know, he does his moves. Sure, it was cool seeing Cena back in the ring. Yeah. His entrance was kind of, you know, touching. He had the Make-A-Wish kids up there, which is awesome. No, good on him for doing that. Only to watch him lose.
Only watch him just lose and then go, bye-bye, I'm making another Fast and Furious movie. Bye-bye.
But yeah, did nothing for either person there. As Johnny said, the build-up was actually quite good going into it. I'm sad that there was nothing really happened with it. And it was not really a squash match. It was just Cena did his moves. Austin did the dick move of not doing it clean and won dirty in a fucking Mania match.
And you know what the worst thing about this is? Not only is it not gotten Austin Theory any further along, it hasn't helped John Cena, but it's making the US title just slowly drip even more into obscurity compared to the Intercontinental title.
The Intercontinental title was like one of the best matches on the card, and this was the US title match that was just
is
a
funny
drab.
because that's one of the titles that Cena helped to bring up, to elevate.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Cena's the reason that title had credibility through the mid-2000s.
His open challenge even later when he was Super Cena, the open challenge that he did was great for newcomers.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to move right along. The next match was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. The first team was Braun Strowman and Ricochet. The second team was the Viking Raiders. The third team was Alpha Romeo.
Alfa Romeo.
Alpha Academy.
Valtteri Bottas and
Zhou Guan Yu.
Let's go.
And the final team was the Street Profits. Chad Gable actually managed to German suplex Braun Strowman.
And
That's
then
impressive.
And then Bridget.
And Bridget.
What the fuck? I missed this match, by the way.
You missed out on a hell of a match, dude.
Yeah. Everyone started trying to do their aerial finisher moves and missed. And then Braun Strowman jumped off the top rope. And everyone was like, oh, he did a splash. I purposely am calling it the money shot. Because it honestly looked like Val Venus.
Nice.
And he landed it.
That's pretty cool.
There was a huge Tower of Doom spot.
Which everybody is in it.
Which had Ricochet actually do a crossbody onto someone to be the person who toppled it over.
Wow.
Then Braun Strowman was doing the Strowman Express, where he runs around outside the ring and starts doing everything.
The choo-choo
Well,
train.
on the second pass, because he did a second pass, he was coming around the corner, and Angelo Dawkins from the Street Profits hit the pounce on him and knocked him on his ass.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked fucking great.
And then, while he's been knocked over, you've got Dawkins and someone else. I think it was one of the guys from the Viking Raiders. And in the background, you see Ricochet run along inside the ring, jump onto the top rope, and then immediately go into a shooting star press to the outside.
Springboard shooting star press.
That was spectacular. And he managed to stop himself from hitting the commentary table.
Guy is super precise in the air.
And then he threw Dawkins back into the ring, jumped onto the top rope, did the shooting star press, except Dawkins got his knees up, held on to Ricochet when Montez Ford hit the from the heavens frog splash, and Street Profits win via pinfall.
Good on him.
This goes to show those guys are the best in tag teams in WWE right now. They are
Which is
on fire.
Which is a good thing, because there was like that rumor that they were going to break him up when he was in the Elimination Chamber by himself.
Montez Ford.
Yeah, Montez went and did the chamber by himself and was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh shit, they're going to break up the Street Profits," but now they're like tag champs. So
Well, no,
They're not tag
they're
champs,
not
they're
the
like
tag champs. They're the number one
number one
contenders,
contenders.
though.
Yeah,
for
number
the
one
tag
contender.
champs.
But I thought it was a fantastic match. I'll go with you, Shay. Your thoughts on the match?
So this one, a lot of people are not going to agree with me with this, but I am actually comparing the chaotic nature of this match to the TLC matches.
No, I totally agree.
The quality of wrestling that actually happened with this, spot-wise, was brilliant. It was just spot after spot after spot after spot, and that's what this card needed, is to have a match like that. The previous Manias had TLC until Money in Bank was a thing. That was kind of your spot fest.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see that, like, getting people like Braun Strowman, Chad Gable to have their WrestleMania moments and to bring them up, not just in tag team matches, but as solo competitors as well, which was really good to see. Sure, a couple of wrestlers didn't really have big moments. Like the Viking Raiders had, I think, a couple of moves there, but they were a bit quiet. Otis had his moment, which is kind of cool. It is a sweaty moment. It was kind of gross, but
Yeah, yeah. He had this.
I did see the photo of his sweaty ass crack.
Yeah, that's not a flash look.
no, especially
You
when you can
might,
see
you
half
might
his,
need some black trunks down there.
see half his package as well.
Jesus.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that match. You want my rating? Or
Yeah, you got to give it.
that's 4.5. And because there is a better match that I'm giving a 5 later.
Well, our satellite correspondent, she gave it 3.
She's
Right.
reminding me of like Paul Kent from Fox League, where just everything is wrong.
Yes.
Stop talking.
I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4, and I'm going to say something that I'm pretty sure Shay is going to agree with me here. I'd like to see these teams do it again with tag belts on the line in TLC.
Absolutely. These guys, in that environment, would be perfect. Ricochet in that environment is fucking brilliant. That is his match.
I see that as if they do that match at SummerSlam, that will steal the show.
100%.
Absolutely steal the show.
I mean, fuck. Do it at Money in the Bank. Have a tag team one.
Yeah.
Sure, they did want $1 million Money in the Banks, but do a tag team Money in the Bank. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Right, so we're going to move on to the next match, which was Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul with some douchebag dressed up as the bottle of Prime.
That's KSI. I don't know who he is. but I know his
Spoiler
name.
alert. I was getting to that. So our satellite correspondent back, she sent me a message during the match saying, Logan's entrance, stop trying to be Shawn Michaels, you trashy frat boy. Somehow
Good on you, Becky. You got me to agree with you for once. I did see his entrance, and he was Shawn Michaels, and he is a trashy frat boy.
Look at me, I got a zip line for my birthday.
I just didn't do it as iconic as Shawn.
Because I wasn't in the roof, I started on the floor for some reason. When do zip lines go up?
That one didn't break, though.
But there was a few moves there. Logan Paul, as much as I think he is a total douche canoe.
He is an absolute douchebag, but he can go
He can.
in the ring.
And this was his last match on his WWE contract.
Yeah, he reckons he's done, but you know what? He's got some pretty good memories out of it.
Yeah. At one point, he hit the buckshot, which is Hangman Adam Page from AEW's finisher.
That was one of his first moves, actually.
Better than Hangman ever could, by the way.
Certainly better than CM Punk could do it.
It doesn't break his ankle.
Yeah. Logan also hit a side Russian leg sweep and went straight into an octopus stretch, which was a nice little touch.
A seated octopus stretch, which is different from the Creators one, which was a standing one.
He also tried for a moonsault and missed. Seth Rollins hit 3 suicide dives after that to the outside, which was kind of cool. Logan Paul also punched him in the face with the KO punch, and then they started selling his hand having the titanium screw in it like it was Lex Luger in the 90s with his titanium elbow plate. And then it was revealed that his mate KSI was the prime bottle of water after he dragged him out of the way. And they did over Rollins and put him on the commentary table. And Logan Paul went to do a big splashy splash from the top rope onto the commentary table. And at the last second, Seth Rollins dragged KSI onto the table and Logan Paul splashed him through the commentary table. But they got back in the ring. Logan Paul hit the go to sleep, the GTS.
And it was called as a GTS.
Yeah, they called it a GTS.
Wow.
It's just like he must watch AEW. Just went, how could I sit here and take the piss out of them? But eventually, Seth Rollins hit the stomp, gets the pin, gets the 1, 2, 3. I thought it was a pretty damn good match.
I saw the end of this match. I saw from the KSI splash onwards.
So we had a hungover Johnny Rock up then.
Hungover, very hungry, very tired.
Well, our satellite correspondent, she gave it a 3.5. I gave it a 4.5. I thought it was an absolutely amazing match. Like, these two really did some good work in it.
Rated that higher than the Fatal 4-Way.
I did. Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if it's wrong.
Right. Well, what do you give it, Shane?
I give it a 4. It was a pretty solid match. I rather enjoyed it. Not as good as the match before, only slightly, but still pretty good. I mean, Seth Rollins can pretty much carry anyone, but Logan Paul, even though, as you guys said, he is a douche canoe, damn good in the ring. He was wrestling like, he's just another decent high flyer. That's the thing, is like, for somebody who's only had 4 or 5 matches this year and not much training for all we know, pretty damn good.
He put the time in.
Yeah, and you can tell.
He put the time and the effort, and he was in there with a solid in-ring mechanic in Seth Rollins. Yeah, so he did all right. I still am questioning what the hell Seth Rollins was wearing, though.
Jeff Jarrett wants his gear back.
Yeah, that was... When he came out with the coat, he looked like a Christmas present.
He did.
It was odd.
It's like he's going to get married. Like the big train going behind him.
Right, so we're going to move on to the next match, which was Damage Control, which is Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, versus Trish Stratus and the women's tag team champions of The Man, Becky Lynch, and Lita. So, there's no easy way to say it. Lita was missing a few steps in this one. She was a bit off the pace. Trish, at times, also looked like she was either ahead of where she was supposed to be in the match or a little bit behind.
But she still looked way more in gear than Lita did.
Yeah, she moved a lot quicker than what Lita did.
A lot more freely. Lita looked like she was carrying a knee injury or something.
Yeah,
she looked real slow on her feet.
She looked, I think as...
She couldn't run, moved. There was the splash in the corner where she sort of, stutter-stepped and then jumped instead of running.
It's like she's walking through mud.
Yeah. I reckon she was carrying a knee injury or some shit. Because she could not run.
Yeah.
Everything she did was, at a fast walk.
Well, it's like how Matthew from Botchmania described it was the only thing slower was the polar ice caps melting.
I'm not going to be that harsh on her because she's 50 odd.
Yeah,
But
she looks all right for her age. I'll give her that. You know.
yeah, it's not there. It's not 2003.
Which Trish made up for it for her lack of speed.
But the match.
Trish is like early 50s as well, but she looked in much better
But
nick.
The best way I could describe it was that I don't think Trish and Lita are used to wrestling a style of what most current talent wrestle. Like, once Becky Lynch got in there, then the match really came together. But the other two seem to be still trying to wrestle a style from 2005, while everyone else is wrestling in 2023.
Luther's breast into another Luther's breast.
But there was one big spot where Io Sky took everyone out with a moonsault from the top rope onto the floor. And then we had Lita hit the twist of fate, Trish hit the chick kick, then Lita hit the moonsault, even though she nearly fell off the turnbuckle hitting the moonsault. And then Becky Lynch hit the manhandle slam on Bayley from the top rope. And they got the pinfall. They got the win. You were here for this one, JB.
Which means Lita and Becky are still tag champs, which means Lita has to wrestle more matches?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think they need to drop that belt soon.
I have a feeling they're going to drop him a Backlash.
I think Lita's hurt.
I think they're going to drop them tomorrow on Raw.
Yeah, it could be an NXT women's tag team coming up.
No, it'll be the team that won the...
Oh, yeah.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. JB, we'll get your thoughts because you actually did get to watch the match.
I did get to watch this match, and yeah, Trish Stratus. 5.
What, 5 plus 2?
5 plus 2 is 7. Yeah, it was a good match. I'm just worried about Lita. I'm just really worried about Lita and how off the pace she was. Trish could still go, and Damage Control were fine, and Becky was fine. But Lita looks really slow, and the fact that Lita is actually carrying an active championship right now, meaning she's going to have to wrestle again in the near future, sort of worries me a bit. I think her time has passed.
So what are you giving it out of 5?
I'm going to give it 3.5, just for the extra half
Titties.
for Trish. Trish bumps it up to 3. Yeah, look, it was an alright match. It was an alright match, and it was nostalgic, and it's awesome to see Lita go, and it's always awesome to see Trish. But yeah, I'm worried about Lita.
Canada's 2 greatest exports.
Damn right.
Well, our satellite correspondent, she gave it a 2.5. She was very vocal about Lita being clunky.
Yeah, she looks hurt.
Shay?
I'll give it a 3. It was okay. It wasn't the worst match I've ever seen, but Becky carried the match quite a bit. So did Damage Control, of course, but it's Damage Control. Just look at those 3.
Damage Control were just wrestling normal.
Yeah, they are very,
like,
very good
like Phil said, like everyone in that match was wrestling normal, and the sore thumbs were Trish and definitely Lita.
Mm.
Everyone else was just like, we do this every week on SmackDown. Like we're good at this. And then Trish is a little bit behind the pace, and then Lita is a lot behind the pace.
Yeah, Lita definitely was the lackluster kind of item there.
Not for lack of trying. She pulled off a moonsault and everything.
True.
She didn't botch anything severely, but she's just so slow compared to the other.
Yeah, none of her moves had any impact other than the moonsault.
And they looked like even the Twist of Fate looked weak.
Yeah, there was just nothing
There was no impact in anything she did.
Yeah, no power in them at all. It was like as I said, it was like she was injured and nursing something, just softly bumping.
Yeah.
Well, I gave it a 2.5. Yeah, I mean, it was marginally better than the US title match, but it had the elements of being good, but Lita was just clunky and off the pace, and
she needs that belt off her ASAP. She needs to just go back into retirement.
Yeah.
We love you. We loved what you did. We loved the rivalry you had with Trish Stratus back in the early 2000s. You were revolutionary. But your time has passed and it looks bad.
Also wasn't a fan of the black and white intro when they came out.
The comic book intro.
The comic book part was cool, but the black and white needed to end when you actually seen him come out.
They put that fake
filter.
rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt like I was watching an NWO intro without the NWO.
No, it just reminded me of Sin City.
Yeah, I know that's what they were going for, though. But, right, moving on. The next match was Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio, Condom.
Condom. Ex-condom. Ex-condom.
Now, I'm going to admit I teary-eyed up when Ray came out. Like, he came out for his entrance with Snoop Dogg driving a lowrider.
That's Snoop's actual lowrider.
Yeah. And then, like, he drove out because they had one of Snoop's songs playing. And then when he came out, it swapped to Eddie Guerrero's theme.
Yeah, that's
I tearied up over that. Like, and then Ray ran up the stairs and it played his theme, and also Ray's mask was a tribute to Great Muta, fellow Hall of Famer. I think I missed a little bit of this match because I was ordering the pizzas. But Dominic held his own. Dominic, to me, has always seemed like he was sort of living off his dad's name. But in this match, he did hold his own and was competent in the ring. He's got a lot of heat on him, though, from the crowd. Like, he's almost got...
He's a good bad guy.
He's almost got X-Pac go-away heat. To a degree.
He's hated because of the angle. He's not hated because he's a genuine asshole.
Yeah.
There's a difference. X-Pac was a genuine selfish asshole.
It was really cool when the rest of the Judgment Day came out to interfere. And then the newly christened LWO came out and started fighting with Judgment Day. But eventually Ray hit the 619... and the Eddie Guerrero frog splash. Got the pin, got the win. And, Rey Mysterio won the match.
Justice was served.
So this is the message to all the fathers out there. Beat your kids.
Beat your kids, homie.
So I gave it a 3. I gave it a 3 out of 5. The storyline build-up to me really reminded me of the Taker and Kane storyline build-up from Mania 14, where it was the whole, the older, in this case the father, but in that case the older brother didn't want to fight the younger one.
Yeah.
And the younger one just pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed until eventually...
Daddy's home with a belt.
Yeah.
Daddy's home and he's not happy.
But the storyline, like the Taker and Kane storyline from WrestleMania 14,
unbeatable.
It's one of the greatest storylines ever.
Yeah, you'll never top that storyline.
And this one,
but this was definitely, you could tell this one was definitely in the same vein.
It was good. It was just a little bit watered down compared to that one.
Yeah,
but the stakes was still there. I think Dominic held his end of the match very well. Rey Mysterio is Rey Mysterio. So, yeah, that's why I gave it a 3. Our satellite correspondent, she also gave it a 3. So, yay. She was actually sending me in out of 10. Like 6.5 out of 10. I'm sitting there going, how the hell do you get this? Like, we do it in 5.
We're out of 5. We don't... We're not Meltzer. We don't give them 7 stars because they're in the Bukkake Dome.
Costa Breaker!
It's Kenny Omega in the Bukkake Dome. It's an instant 7-star match.
Okay, well, JB, what did you give the match?
3.5. Justice was served, and Dom's had my eye for a while as, like, just a little brat that needed his face caved in, and Rey Mysterio served. And good on Dom for being a proper good heel and making people genuinely hate his guts.
And it does set up now Judgment Day versus the LWO.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yep.
Shane?
I'll give it a 3.5 also. It was really good. Good storyline, good payoff, and a good intro or good entrance for both people. Well, actually, no, not both. Good entrance for Ray with the nod to Eddie and Snoop. Not so much for Dom when he comes out of a paddy wagon, where everyone thought it was
Yeah, it
Scott
was
Steiner.
cool enough.
I was waiting for the holler if you hear me, you know.
Yeah, when that started playing.
Anytime you hear a siren.
Even Beck she sent me a message saying, "Holler if you hear me." LOL. It's like, where's Scott Steiner?
Everybody know what's no.
Give me a fucking mic.
Fat asses.
But
I know where he is. He's probably the same hole that Rick Steiner is currently hiding in after his rant on Friday.
Oh dear, I need to catch up on that one.
definitely a good match. It was rather enjoyable.
All right. So we're going to move on to the SmackDown Women's Championship match between the champion Charlotte Flair and the challenger, the 2023 Royal Rumble winner and Australia's own Rhea Ripley from the Judgment Day.
From Adelaide.
From Adelaide.
Adelaide, mate.
Yuck.
Now, I thought both the entrances were kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, well, for a championship match, the entrances in the start of this match, the first 5-10 minutes of this match was like completely underwhelming.
Especially with Charlotte. Like, Charlotte's renowned for having over-the-top entrances. She came in a fucking helicopter a couple of years ago.
Yeah. They just undersold the entrances. And I think the underwhelming entrances flattened the crowd to a point that even the start of this match just felt really slow and off the beat.
Well, I did find, and I wrote this in my notes, that the start of the match, Charlotte Flair was wrestling a match like it was like one of her dad's matches from in his prime, like when he used to wrestle Dusty Rhodes and that. Like, it was very slow and methodical. It wasn't plodding, but it could have used just a step quicker.
Absolutely.
Which would have been my main criticism for this match had it not absolutely burnt the house down by the end.
Oh, yeah, like it really did pick up by the end. Like, you're fully invested in it.
Yeah.
But the other thing that struck me about this match, and it happens with the other women's title match later, is that the crowd is cheering for the heel and booing the babyface.
Yeah.
You know, like the crowd is cheering for Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is so over it's not funny. Despite the fact that she's a villain, she's a heel. I think it's more a case of, well, I mean,
We're sick of Charlotte Flair.
We're sick of Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley is the best talent in the women's division going at the
She's the
moment.
most credible breath of fresh air that we could have.
Good
She's
on
a
the
new
mic.
champion, but she's credible.
Good on the mic as a dickish heel, like a
A
smug heel.
little bit wooden on the mic.
Yeah, she is a bit wooden on the mic, but
She's
she
good
gets
as
the
being a
point.
dick, like with Dom and that. She works well in a stable like that.
But just to go back to that point, though, about being wooden on the microphone, another Australian who is also sounding very wooden on the microphone is Grayson Waller. Like, when he talks, it sounds like he's rehearsed a speech. I think it's because they're Australian, we can sort of tell the difference between someone talking like a normal Australian and someone talking from a speech that is well rehearsed.
Yeah, we can't really tell with the American accent. I wonder if it's
Yeah.
the same with the Americans who they can pick that. But Aussies to an Aussie, it's just like, yeah, you're remembering something that was written on a piece of paper. It's not coming from the heart.
But there was one point there where I think it was Rhea Ripley who did an amazing German suplex off the top rope.
Yes,
I
it was.
believe it was.
Yeah, it was from the top.
Then Charlotte copped another German suplex where she did a full flip and landed on her nose.
Flat
busted
on her face.
Yeah, busted her nose open. But post-match, it was confirmed that she's okay. It's just a little cut on her nose. It's nothing major.
It was Matt Byrne, and it looked pretty painful.
Yeah, right in the bridge of her nose. It would have
Yeah.
hurt like a
Oof.
bitch.
It'd sting like a motherfucker.
Charlotte was the first person to kick out of the Riptide.
Yeah.
She got hit with the Riptide and kicked out.
Yeah, which puts the seed of doubt. It's just like, oh my god, she's going to retain.
And then Rhea Ripley got hit with the spear and she kicked out. And then eventually Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide from the top rope. Got the 1, 2, 3 and is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And a bit of redemption for their match from WrestleMania 36.
The NXT Championship.
Yeah, where it was inside the Performance Center during the pandemic. So it was an empty arena match.
Mm.
So, what do you give the match, JB?
4 out of 5. It was a good match. It was a good match. It was good to see the Aussie get up. Get up there. Get in there, Rhea. No, it was good. Like I said, Rhea was the breath of fresh air that the Women's Championship needed. And she's the most credible, woman to go and win the title now. She's been very good. And, she's like the second bad guy leader of Judgment Day. But 95% of the crowd was cheering her.
Yeah.
Just purely because we didn't want to see Charlotte with the belt anymore.
Well, Charlotte felt like a paper champion in this run. Like
She really did.
They needed to get the belt off Ronda Rousey because she was tanking like anything. But then they put it on Charlotte, thinking, "Oh, this'll da 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 da."
No.
And it had the same reaction. And Charlotte, as a babyface, very rarely works.
Yeah, no one buys her as a babyface. She's just, I've never been a Charlotte fan ever, really.
She just works as
she's athletic as fuck and she can go, but she's like prime John Cena.
Problem about Charlotte is she works as a self-absorbed heel, but not anywhere as a face.
Yeah, no one wants to see her as a face.
She's a flair for fuck's sake. She's meant to be a egotistical heel.
She can be an egotistical heel. Even her attire lends that, like the big gowns with the like the female version of her father's, the gown with the big the Ice Queen fucking headrest collar thing. That's what egotistical bad guys wear. Be an egotistical bad guy.
Stick with what you know.
Exactly.
I think Charlotte's to the point where she needs to go away.
She did. That's the thing. She got given the title when she came back.
She came back, and no one still gives a shit about it.
And I'm going to say someone else who needs to go away because I'm kind of sick of her too, and that's Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch needs to go away.
She only come back recently too.
Yeah, I just...
She at least doesn't have a belt on her.
No, she's got the tag strap.
Yeah, she's a champion.
Which she'll lose soon, hopefully for Lita's sake.
Yeah.
She'd be feuding with Becky in that. With Bayley in that. I'll give her that. Those two always go well together.
Yeah, but I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I want to see something different. What score are you giving it, Shay?
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. I quite enjoyed that. That's one of the best female matches, wrestling matches I've seen in a very long time. Slow burn. As you said, it reminded me kind of like the old school style of a slow burn match that builds and builds and builds and is really good at the end. I very much enjoyed it, and it was great to see Rhea finally get her title win. Muchly deserved. And hopefully it leads to the Rhea leaving the
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, thank you. It's getting late.
It is getting a little bit late, yeah.
Hang on, I'm just filling in the homework part. Right. Okay. Right, so that was that match. Then we had this impromptu match of Pat McAfee versus The Miz.
It was very impromptu.
It was very impromptu. Our satellite correspondent, she didn't even rate it, so yeah, cool. Oh, and the Rhea Ripley match, I gave it a 3.5. I forgot to mention that.
What did our correspondent give it?
3.5.
and we gave it 4s.
Yeah.
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 It was a good match.
Pat McAfee thing, yeah, it was a fast match. McAfee got the pinfall.
Non-applicable.
I gave it a 2.
Non-applicable. It was
Not
a,
applicable.
It was
Was
a gimmick.
It was a match. It
All
was a
right.
gimmick. It was a good
Cool.
surprise, though.
Yeah.
It was more applicable than what happened tonight. It was way more applicable than what happened tonight.
We'll get to that.
We will get to
Oh,
that.
boy.
Right, and then the final match of night 1 was the main event for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships between the Usos representing the Bloodline and the challengers Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The build for this was just
Brilliant.
fucking incredible. For a storyline that initially was going to be throwaway because Sammy wasn't supposed to be in the Bloodline for long, and it just grew organically. Something that Vince McMahon doesn't know what organically is. The only thing he knows about growing organically is
His mustache.
I was going something else, but yeah, that'll
Anabolic steroids don't grow organically.
I found at the start of the match, a lot of people would sit there and say the match was slow, but I thought it was very methodical. It was a bit more methodical than the previous match. But it was telling a really amazing story at the same time and really getting you invested in what was coming.
Yeah.
It was just building up that storm of what was coming. At one point, Sami Zayn hit the Uso splash on one of the Usos. But then Sami started getting the Uso super kick like it was the super kick party. Clearly, the Usos have been taking the page out of the Young Bucks book.
There were a lot of kicks to the head.
A lot of leg slapping.
Not a fast slapping, pal.
Don't slap the thigh. Don't slap the thigh. Eventually, KO gets double choke slammed through the proper announce table, not the Spanish one, the proper one.
Cursed.
Yeah. The Usos hit the 1D on Sammy, and he kicked out.
First person to kick out of that too, by the way.
Yep. Eventually, KO hit the stunner on Jey Uso. And then the Usos hit the double splash on Kevin Owens, and he kicked out. I think Sammy dragged one of them off. And then eventually, Kevin Owens hit the stunner on one of the Usos, and Jey was set up in the corner, and Sammy hit not one, not two, but 3 haluva kicks on Jey Uso, who was supposed to be his mate, who turned on him. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got the pin, got the win, are the new undisputed tag team champions to close out night 1 of WrestleMania 39. Our satellite correspondent, she gave it a 3.
Is she high?
A satellite correspondent. No comment.
Because she was like, I'm not invested in this story.
How could you not?
Which I replied to it. My specific reply was, you would be the only being in the universe.
You would be the only wrestling fan that isn't an AEW diehard, not emotionally invested in this story.
Even the AEW diehards are invested in this storyline. AEW wrestlers are invested in this storyline.
What is she invested in? Like, what's she waiting for? Who's she waiting for?
Women's matches. Shay, what would you give it?
I give this match a 5-star. It was a brilliant build to this match. One of the best storylines, if not the best storyline in the past decade, easily. And that's not saying much for some years, but yeah, perfect build for it. Sammy got naturally over. KO was already over as fuck anyway. Hell, even the Usos are being pretty over with people with the bloodline. That's the thing with them. Yeah, they were meant to be heels, but it made you feel for them even though they were heels. And Sammy being in that heel faction and then turning face just naturally because the crowd loved him through that. Ridiculously good booking and a ridiculously good acting on Sammy's half too. It made you feel for him. He was the guy that, he stuck up for his friend and then got shafted for it pretty much. But it's great to see them get a payoff for that and Sammy to finally be a champion with KO.
Yeah.
And those two, as been recorded a lot, they come up together and it's good to see them being friends and tag team partners at the same time. And champions now.
JB?
4.5 out of 5. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant build up. Emotional. Told a story. Just everything that match needed it to be. Everything that every wrestling fan wanted that match to be, and it was. And I'm not even going to lie, I had tears in my eyes. The shot of Sami Zayn looking across the ring to Kevin Owens after he got the pinfall. He's just sitting in the corner, he's just staring, like shaking his head like, what did we just do? I almost cried. Like, it was just that emotion of storytelling. It was like a movie. It was actually like a movie.
Well, for me, the storyline, it also involved Cody Rhodes, because he was sort of trying to get these two to get on the same page, and Kevin Owens on, I think it was SmackDown, where he sat there and said, "Why would I want to be partners with you if you don't want to be my friend?" And that really hit at a realistic core. And then later on in the episode, when the Usos were doing over Sammy, and KO came back and he did him over, threw them off, and walked over and hugged Sami Zayn, and just the biggest pop since Sami Zayn's entrance at Elimination Chamber. That actually reminded me of, this will take your mind back to 2019. And it was the match between Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes.
Yep.
And at the end of the match, he said that he'd signed a contract for a tag team title match against the Young Bucks. He said, "I don't need a friend. I don't need a partner. I need my brother." That reminded me of that. And I was just like, oh, yes. Okay. I gave the match 5. If I could have given it a 6, I would have. It was just perfect.
Rated
it was
6 stars.
I'm not Dave Meltzer.
It's not the Bukaki name, you can't do it.
It was perfect.
Breaking news, WWE sold to Endeavor Group.
Oh, it's official.
$21 billion.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, you know what the worst thing is, though, is that Vince McMahon is still involved.
Until the sale, which is right now.
No, he is still part of the company.
Yeah, he's employed.
In the sale.
Oof.
Because Dana White is still going to be the president of UFC.
Yes.
Nick Khan is still going to be the president of WWE.
Mm.
And Vince McMahon has to report to Nick Khan.
Well, he doesn't have ultimate control, at least.
But the one person that everyone's not sure about if he's going to be with the company after the sale is Triple H.
Really?
I hope that he sticks around, because he is the thing that's keeping this place going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has given all the talent such direction to keep going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was day 1 of WrestleMania. We moved to day 2, where it was Johnny's favourite match of the entire 2 days.
Oh, the one I waited for.
Oh, he was swooning over this
I was
match.
so pumped for this match.
Omos versus Brock Lesnar. It was fairly...
Even in my wildest dreams, I didn't think this match would ever happen at WrestleMania. And here it was.
I was praying it wouldn't.
Here it was in all its absolute glory. Just the absolute technical wizardry of both men coming into this match. You know, we think of Taker and Shawn Michaels, we think of, you know, Angle and Benoit, the classics they had. Jericho and Shawn Michaels, just the absolute, just the brilliance that we have seen that has graced the squared circle. And then they announce Brock Lesnar and Omos to kick off night 2 of WrestleMania, and it's just it's just like stepping in a time machine and just going back to the days of Bret Hart. Just absolute wizardry.
Well, I thought the match was fairly basic, and my 2 notes were fairly basic and Lesnar hits with an F5 for the win. I will say this, though. The match was certainly a lot better than Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. The twice that we've had to put up with that.
Yeah.
You know, this was a lot better. So Brock Lesnar wins the match. Our satellite correspondent, she actually sent me some notes for this. So she gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
That's generous.
Omos treating Brock like a rag doll made me very happy. I am 80% sure some of Omos's hits were real too. All in all, it was just 2 big dudes throwing each other around the ring. JB, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, as I said, I couldn't have introed this match any better. This is what dreams are made of. This is like
dreams or the other kind of dreams.
it could be either. This is on par with just like Christmas and Easter coming at once. Yeah, I was just absolutely so sold on this technical masterpiece, and I'm just really glad I got to see it. And in closing, I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5. It was good to see Omos just like stagger around the ring for a bit and do some moves. He's like the Great Khali almost, but slightly more. His knees bend. But his knees bend.
I think he's got more in common with Giant Gonzalez, to be honest.
He's taller than Khali.
He's tall as fuck, but at least his knees bend. Unlike Great Khali's knees that didn't bend.
And he can actually talk English.
Great
And
Khali
he doesn't have weird nipples.
Double E.
Great Khali was World Heavyweight Champion, and he beat The Undertaker like 3 separate times. I don't see Omos winning a major belt or beating Roman Reigns.
And Khali was so cumbersome that he got pulled from the Punjabi prison match with The Undertaker and Big Show.
Because they figured out he couldn't climb.
Or walk.
Or do anything.
Shay, your thoughts on the match?
Not applicable. No.
$2.99.
How dare you.
I give it a 2-star. It wasn't the worst Omos match I've seen. He actually did things. I'll give him that. Brock Lesnar getting thrown around actually was
that opening throw was incredible. Like, he just scooped him.
Yeah.
Dude, he scoop slammed him like 6 times. Like,
that was the only thing he did.
Yeah, I know, but I've never seen Brock Lesnar scoop slam. He looked like a fucking cruiserweight.
I'll give him that. That was the most
It was pretty cool to watch Brock Lesnar get held around like that.
I will admit I was surprised that Brock Lesnar won.
That's Finn Balor.
That's Finn Balor's head. Wow.
We'll get to that in a minute. Come on.
Sorry.
Well, I gave the match a 2 out of 5 as well. Like it surpassed expectations because fuck me, was the bar low.
The bar was pretty fucking low.
Like, if the bar was any lower, it'd be under the dirt. Right. The next match was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the women's. You had Raquel Rodriguez. Is that her name, or is it Raquel Gonzalez?
Rodriguez.
I did get it right.
I think Gonzalez is on AEW.
Right, okay. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. What surprised me first was old Natty cracking out some new moves. She did, I think she was pulling some moves out of the Owen Hart playbook because she did a Hurricane Rana.
She was going off at the start of the match.
Which I've never seen her do a Hurricane Rana before.
She did a few in this match too. She did like a standing one.
For me, the standout of the match was actually Shotzi Blackheart. Like, she really was in there showing what she could do.
Yes.
It was pretty solid action. Nothing truly spectacular. And then at the end, you had Shayna Baszler hobbling around with only one shoe on.
I don't know what happened there.
And Ronda Rousey locked in the armbar on Shotzi. And she tapped out, and Rousey and Shayna won the match via submission, which is the only match on the card. There was a submission win.
It was, yep.
At least we didn't have a roll-up pin. That was pretty cool. But, yeah, well, I'll read what our satellite correspondent had to say. So her thoughts were, if we keep throwing the women out of the ring onto each other, maybe the pile of pretty colours will distract you from the fact that we had absolutely no direction with this mess. But hey, we get to have 2 MMA fighters here. Let's get Ronda to do a single armbar to win and absolutely nothing else.
She's not wrong.
And she
Ronda did not do a whole lot in this match.
And she gave it a 2 out of 5. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I thought Shotzi was the standout. I kind of knew that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler were going to win, because I think they're going to be the ones that get the tag straps.
Yeah, they'll be the dominant heel faction tag team champions for a long time.
The one sort of thing in this match where I was just sitting there going, why are they even in it, is Chelsea Green. She does nothing.
And Sonya Deville. Barely saw her either.
You know, and you've got other teams out there that could have been on the card.
Yeah.
And instead you put Chelsea Green on there. Like, everyone's raving on about Chelsea Green. Honestly, she wrestles like Tori Wilson.
Yeah, pretty basic.
It's just bare bones bullshit. And meanwhile, AEW just signed Taya Valkyrie. But this company couldn't see anything in her and let her go when she was called Frankie Monet. So, yeah, that's my 10 cents. JB, what do you think?
I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. I think I'm just bumping it up a point because Natalya was in this match. And she looked great. She looked phenomenal. She was pulling off new moves. I saw her Instagram post the morning of, and she is jacked.
Yeah.
She's gone from, like, cushion for the pushing to, like, shredded. She looks really good.
Rubbing for the loving.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's always looked great, but now she looks, like, really, really great. But yeah, there wasn't, you're right, there was nothing in this match that emotionally invested me. It was really flat. Like, it was proper a flat match. Like, compared to the men's tag match, which I didn't see, but you guys raved about.
You should definitely go watch it when you go home.
Fucking almost 11 o'clock at night, mate. I'm not watching anything.
Tomorrow.
Put the back of my eyelids. You know, it was nothing special. It was nothing special. And the end was almost abrupt. It's like, oh, we've reached the time limit. Ronda go armbar. Whoever she armbarred.
That was the
Shotzi.
That was like one of the only times she got into the fucking ring too.
And it was like the only thing she did.
Yeah.
Beck's right. Like, it's the only time I noticed Ronda was the entrance and the end.
Yep.
She didn't do. She was barely. Shayna did all the work.
Shayna injured herself too. She had one of her shoes off at the end of that.
Is that why her boot was off?
Yeah.
Did she hurt her foot?
I'm pretty sure she hurt her foot.
I think she sprained her ankle.
So they took the boot off so she didn't have to cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because she did look like she was hobbling around.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, nothing really special in this match. Good to see Natalya's in good shape and got a bit more to her repertoire, because she's usually just the dumpling in the middle that does nothing and then gets pinned first. So it was good to see her.
Shotzi live with the ragdolls.
Yeah.
Shay?
I'll give it a 2.5. It was better than Omos and Lesnar, but not by much.
Are you sure?
The male Fatal 4-Way one was infinitely better.
Right, speaking of infinitely better, it was the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship between the champion Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. Now, these are my notes. I'm just going to read them verbatim, okay, how I wrote it. Gunther is just a chopping machine.
He always has been.
And then, after I wrote that, Gunther and Drew started chopping the buggery out of each other, and Drew was just really just chopping away even harder than Gunther.
I was going to say, it was arguably harder than Gunther's chops. Jesus.
But this had the best hard-hitting action. These guys were smacking the bejesus out of each other. And you could tell, like, they weren't pulling their punches. They were sitting there going, yep, bring it. Bring it. I will give you a receipt because we're going to make this look real. And it fucking looked real.
All of them can't feel their chests today.
Nah,
It
there's
was
not a
worth
chance.
it, though. At one point, Sheamus hit the Celtic Cross, or as we like to call it, the Razor's Edge or the Outsider's Edge. You know, thanks Scott Hall.
And he did the Scott Hall
Arms out pose.
arms out pose too.
Yep. Drew dove over the top rope onto Sheamus, which was a cool spot. That's Drew's little nod to the Undertaker when he does that.
His lariat.
Oh no, where he dumps over the top rope onto the ground.
Yeah, and that's
Taker always
sorry,
did that at
yeah.
WrestleMania.
the one where
Yeah.
he crushed the fucking cameraman.
Yeah, that was one of the guys from Deuce and Domino.
Spiked himself on his head.
That too, because he wasn't in the right spot to catch him.
Luckily, Sean was there.
Barely.
Sheamus countered the Claymore with a brogue kick, which was cool. And eventually Gunther powerbombed Sheamus onto Drew and then powerbombed Drew. Got the pinfall, got the win, retained the Intercontinental Championship. I thought Sheamus was going to win it.
Mm.
You know, because that's the only belt that he needs to become a Grand Slam champion. Shay, I'll let you go first.
I give this match a 4.5. It was a fucking superb match. One of the best big house matches I've seen in a while. Just big, meaty men slapping the shit out of each other.
Beating the piss out of each other.
Absolutely flogging the crap out of each
As
other.
close
and
to
it's
a real
brilliant.
fight as you could get in the wrestling world.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like legit.
And what three better people to do that than Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew?
And they
Like,
should-
Three Europeans.
three Europeans doing what they do best, beating the fuck out of each
Just
other.
bashing the fuck.
It's what happens when you put a German, a Scot, and an Irishman
Wait,
in the
no,
same ring.
Gunther's Austrian.
Austrian, sorry. But he's acting as a German, though.
Oh,
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's the ring general. He's got a German bloody coat on.
You do realise that in Austria they speak German.
Yes, but he's got the fucking German flag on.
We know because of Nicky
Hey,
fucking
asshole.
Lauda. Yeah, asshole.
That was my line.
I had that corner.
Yeah, Imperium's meant to be German.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I understand. That's all right. That's all right. Rusev was Russian with a fucking Bulgarian tattoo on his arm. So.
Yeah, and Lana was Russian and with an American accent.
Exactly.
JB?
4.5 out of 5. Just awesome. Just awesome. Just beat the shit out of each other. It's great. How good. I love that Drew's chops sounded worse than Gunther's. Like, Gunther was hitting the way Gunther hits. And then Drew hits Gunther. And it's just like this solid, just this thud. And it's like,
I busted Sheamus' chest open.
it's just like, man, it's like, that's echoing through his chest cavity. Like, fuck. That. I think the other thing, I didn't actually like the ending. I didn't like the double powerbomb ending. I would have loved to see Sheamus hit the bro kick on Drew to give the crowd the false sense that Sheamus is going to win it. And then Sheamus spin around and get hit by the powerbomb and Gunther win it that way. But, is what it is.
I
Didn't take away from the fact that all three of these dudes are going to be fucking sorted out.
Or to have like Sheamus go to do something off the top rope, jump off, and just get slapped by Gunther.
Just
mid-orbit and just
swat him.
bonk, pin him, Dunsky.
yeah.
I sort of seen it coming when I didn't see Gunther for like 10,
Yeah, we didn't see Gunther for like
about
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our satellite correspondent, she gave it a 3.5.
Is her dial stuck on 3.5?
I think so.
Did she realise she can rate to 5 or? Did she think
She's a
we're only
she's a
rating
drummer. She can only count to 4.
to... I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4.
3XL European men slapping, kicking, and slamming each other.
Big meaty
Sim-
men slapping me.
I need some more beef, pal.
That's some good shit, pal. Big meaty men slapping meat.
Vince McMahon just in the back rubbing his hands together.
That's the good shit, pal.
Stroking his mustache.
Yeah, he's got the Burt Reynolds mustache going. Look
So-
more seedy, you assholes.
Right, yeah, she said 3XL extra large European men slapping, kicking, and slamming each other. Seriously, a lot of fun to watch, and endless amounts of chops and bro kicks. Having this all come down to the two friends battling it out, but the pin being interfered by Gunther was a bit predictable.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with her in that
Agreed.
respect.
Well, I gave it a 4.5. I thought it was an outstanding match, and watching three guys really whoop the shit out of each other really appealed to that. Wrestling fans have that little part of their wrestling brain,
They're not big to start with.
and that little part of their wrestling brain is usually tattooed with the words ECW. And this appealed to the ECW part of my brain. Like, it's just...
Want to see some violence? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just violence. But
Just
it was
wanted to see some
beautiful violence.
It was good violence.
You know, it was like watching a John Wick movie. You know, it was just violence, but with some nuance to it. So I super enjoyed that match. The next match was the Raw Women's Championship match between the champion Bianca Belair and the challenger Asuka. Okay, my first note on this was the build-up for this match was absolute shit. It was just a wet fart, this one. Just nothing in it. Asuka was taking a lot of painful bumps, though. Like, she was getting power-bombed here, there, and fucking everywhere. And taking them just solid, like how I fell off the stage at Maguire's a couple of months ago. Just flat back bashing. Particularly the powerbomb she took on the floor outside.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, that was like back. You saw the back of her head bounce. That's pretty rough.
And then this is where I really don't have a lot of time for Bianca Belair. The camera was right on her, and you could hear her calling a spot. Like, I don't know what she called, but she's sitting there calling a spot.
You talk too much.
And you're just going, you've just graduated to being on Botchamania.
She called a spot. She was staring right at the referee's face, and that called a spot.
That was also Kevin Dunn's fault as well, being like wrong camera.
Oh, because Kevin Dunn is that Bucky Beaver-looking motherfucker, according to Jim Cornette. At one point, Belair deadlift suplexes Asuka from outside over the ropes into the ring, but nearly didn't do it, so Asuka had to sort of conveniently bounce off the rope a little bit and push to make that happen, or else she would have landed on her neck. Asuka misses the mist, but locks in the armbar. But eventually, Belair hits the KOD, gets the pin, gets the win, retains the Raw Women's Championship, making the Raw Women's Championship even more irrelevant.
Yawn.
Well, I'll read what our foreign correspondent had to say. She gave it a 4.
I was going to say, which one we got two?
Absolutely perfect technical executions, not a step missed. Asuka's left leg of her tights ripped at some point, by the way. I didn't notice that. I'll have to go back and watch that again.
Watch that one in slow-mo, pal.
With the zoom on.
With the zoom on.
They did really well with the 50-50 winning style. For a long time, you didn't know who was going to win. My counter to that was, for the longest time, I didn't give a shit.
I didn't care who won this match.
Yeah.
I hoped it would be Asuka, and then it wasn't Asuka.
You know, I think I spent more time in this match yawning than anything else, because, my God, I just don't care about Bianca Belair.
I just don't.
I don't care. And then you've got Asuka, who is the same thing as the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Asuka's supposed to be the heel, and the crowd's cheering for her.
Because they don't want Bianca Belair with the belt anymore.
We're sick of Bianca Belair.
They're sick of Belair the way they're sick of Charlotte.
Every time she gets on the microphone and she starts talking, she reminds me of Kathy Freeman.
Wow. You're not wrong, but wow.
Jesus.
I mean, he's right. What's the Simpsons quote? Just because he's right doesn't mean he should say it. He's right, but I wish he wouldn't say it.
It's unintelligible gibberish.
Yeah.
On a microphone.
It's just stuff I don't care about.
And then in the ring, it's just the same thing. Look how strong I am. Look, I can do athletic stuff. Whoop-de-doo.
I can do power moves. Oh, KOD. Oh, whip with my hair. Whoop, KOD. I win.
Yeah.
It's been like that for a year. There hasn't been a single title defense that I've been excited about for her.
Yeah.
I was happy for her when she won the belt.
Yeah. That was the
When
only
she
time I'm
beat-
happy for her.
Was it Sasha Banks?
Yeah, she beat Sasha Banks.
Yep.
That was cool. I liked that.
Before
and then
Sasha-
after that, and then I was like, happy for her, sweet, oop, defended the belt, nice. Okay, something a little bit bored, more bored, more bored, more bored. She still got the belt a year later, really.
Yeah, and she's got a 3-win streak at WrestleMania now.
She's like the female Roman Reigns. But
Oh, God.
people care about Roman Reigns.
You got a point there. Yeah, I gave it a 3. JB, what did you give it?
I give it a 3, only because I thought there was a genuine chance Asuka was going to win this match, and they didn't. But I just can't get emotionally invested in Bianca Belair. I just can't.
Shane?
I give it a 3 as well. And for a little tidbit of for a little bit of a tidbit of news as well, the girl that did the contortionist bit for Bianca's entrance, apparently her mother died that morning before she went on stage.
Oh,
Wow.
So because she knew it was such a cool opportunity, she still decided to go do that.
Mega props to that girl.
That's-
Triple H apparently was in tears like when he found out about that, which just goes to show how much of an awesome guy he is.
Well,
That
that's
too.
Bianca too. Like, she was in that situation herself.
Mm.
They're all project girls.
Yeah.
They all come from the streets, basically.
Yeah.
So props to her. I mean, Bianca's a good human being with a good heart. I just don't care for her matches. I just don't
Yeah.
care for her holding the belt anymore.
That's the shameful thing about it is she's an awesome person, but she just not that interesting at the moment with what she's got going.
We just can't
But you can
connect
say
with
that.
her.
You can say that to a lot of wrestlers. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are inspired by Charlotte Flair. But I just don't care for Charlotte Flair. I don't care for Bianca Belair, but she's obviously inspired all those young women coming from the projects, and good on her.
I think that might highlight something that AEW has done slightly different now, which is that, like, they've got Jamie Hayter as their women's champion. And that's because the crowd built her up organically.
Yeah, she was the underdog.
And now that she's the champion, like, it's still working because she's the champion. And it's the same with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley grew organically.
Mm.
There doesn't seem to be anyone else that is growing organically in WWE in the women's division besides maybe Raquel Rodriguez or Shotzi Blackheart or Indy Hartwell or Candice LeRae.
Who's the one that has the cutter? She does like a flip and then does a cutter. She's in NXT.
Is it Zoe Stark?
That finisher is probably one of the best finishers I've ever seen. Holy shit.
Another girl from NXT who's grown organically with the crowd, but she's on the injured list now, is Nikita Lyon.
Mm.
But she's on the injured list because she did her ACL.
Much like another person that we know that's...
Well, moving right along to possibly the greatest match in WrestleMania history.
Yeah.
It's so great that we're going to not give it a rating. And that's Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Because it took him literally jumping twice.
leapfrogged.
He did a leapfrog and then went to do something and blew his quad out.
Like father, like son.
And so Snoop Dogg had to try and do his
Props for Snoop Dogg for saving that.
Yep.
So pretty much what happened was Miz was pissed because of the Pat McAfee thing the night before. And Snoop's like, oh, sorry, that was my bad. And then he's like, what do you mean you're bad? And then he like points the screen, and then Shane Mac comes out. Everyone's all happy, and Johnny's excited. He wants to see some trash cans.
Want to see shooting star press?
I want to see a shooting star press in coast to coast. What I did see was Shane McMahon do a lot of dancing and thanking the crowd, and then did some punches, and then he did a leapfrog, and then land, and then fall over, and then try and get back up, and then fall over in a lot of pain. And then Miz dancing around and try and stall for a bit. And then Snoop Dogg get in the ring and deck him with the right hand, which was nice.
Apparently he whispered to the ring announcer, I'm fucked. I'm fucked, as in he couldn't move.
Yeah.
And then Snoop called a lot of that by himself. Like he said, Snoop jumped in the ring, he's like, just let me do my thing. And then whispered
Drop the people's elbow.
Yeah.
Drop the people's elbow.
People don't know if the people's elbow was a part of the script or if it was just someone just whispered people's elbow and he's like, okay, fuck it.
I think he called it on the fly and just went, fuck
Props
it,
to Snoop if he saved that situation as an audible.
Absolutely. Like, if he called majority of that as an audible by himself, fucking props to him for being able to do that.
Professional.
And entertain
That's
it
fucking
to the
awesome.
end.
That's fucking cool.
Right.
And for that, I'm giving it 5 out of 5 because fuck you guys.
Right, I'm going to move on from that to the next match, which was the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and the Demon Finn Balor. It was so nice to see Demon Finn Balor again.
Yes.
With his music.
With his music. Edge came out to South of Heaven by Slayer. As cool as that was, I really think he should have come out to the Brood theme. And apparently Gangrel was in town, so I don't know why they didn't call Gangrel and say, come on out, dude. Like, that would have popped huge. Seeing Gangrel come out with Edge with the container of red viscous fluid and the old Brood theme. Like, that just...
We could have swooped Christian from AEW for one night, couldn't we?
We could have.
I'm sure Tony Khan would have been thrilled with that.
And then Finn Balor came out as Demon and had his old theme and was playing out...
Despite being the heel, the crowd was totally into the theme.
Yeah.
Despite being the heel, I was totally into seeing Demon Finn Balor again.
Something I really enjoyed was seeing a normal coloured Hell in a Cell again.
Not a red one.
Not a red one, but there was red and purple chairs and kendo sticks and tables everywhere.
Because why not?
Actually, the cell was more like a gunmetal grey.
Yeah.
It wasn't silver like usual either.
No,
It was like a gunmetal grey.
It was great though. They actually used the cell quite cleverly during the match.
Mm.
Edge hit Gangrel's DDT, his old implant DDT. Edge got drop kicked through a table he set up outside. Then Edge hit the kill switch,
Yes.
which is Christian's finisher. So that was a nice little thing. Edge threw a ladder at Finn Balor, which busted him open, and he's got a massive gash on the top of his head that Shay was just showing me the photo of.
Yeah, run the top of his head.
Yeah, that's going to require a couple of stitches.
Mm.
Finn hit the coup de grace and Edge kicked out. Edge hit the execution off a ladder and Finn Balor kicked out. Finn set Edge up on a table and was going to do the coup de grace from the top rope, but then climbed onto the second sort of tier on the Hell in a Cell and dove off from there, and Edge rolled out of the way, so he ate a table himself trying to do the coup de grace.
He ate the table.
Edge hit the spear, but Finn Balor kicked out of that. And then eventually Edge hit the concerto, pinned him, got the win. That's the end of this storyline. I think this is Edge's last WrestleMania.
Yeah, from the look that he gave the crowd as he was walking out.
So, foreign correspondent, she says she gave it a 4.5.
Damn! Is she feeling okay?
Yeah.
Well done.
Stunning entrances from both. straight for the weapons and the bruises immediately, forming on Edge's back after the kendo stick shows they weren't fucking around with this. Edge got cut, bled, and fixed up at some point too. No, that was Finn. Classic Attitude Era cage match. Except it was a Hell in a Cell, so you're inaccurate.
Wrong.
You're wrong.
Wrong. That was a polite way of saying wrong. JB?
4.5.
4.5?
Banger of a match.
Yep.
Banger of a match, not much more to be said, just brutal.
Yep.
Lots of weapons, lots of bashing, and Edge getting the win, which was nice, which should end that storyline. With a concerto, too. How poetic.
Shane?
I'll give it a 4.5. You can't really have done a match like this any better. Great build to it. Edge and, Judgment Day been going head-to-head for ages. He was the one that created them. Good to see this payoff match. Hopefully it's the end of the feud, because that's a perfect way to end it. With Edge on top, being his last Mania. Maybe Edge does a match here and there now, but I think Edge may be Dunskies.
He's going to finish at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
Okay,
he gave
so
himself
probably
a year.
one
which was
big,
from SummerSlam.
probably got one big match left then.
Because SummerSlam, I think, is in Toronto.
Yes,
Okay,
I
that'd
believe
make a
it
lot of
is.
sense. But yeah, definitely good to see. Edge hasn't missed a beat since he's come back. That match just proved it. You can still go in a hardcore match or hardcore styled match. And Finn as a demon is always a pleasure to see.
Yeah, I gave it a 4. I thought it was a really innovative use of the cage, and it didn't rely on Hell in a Cell spectacle. Meaning,
They didn't go top.
they didn't have to go on the top. They didn't have to throw someone through a commentary table.
No one got speared off the side of the cell through the commentary table, which was disappointing.
The one thing that I was hoping for was Edge to set the table on fire.
That would have been sick.
No
that would have
room.
been sick.
And
They'd
a
have to do it in the
collapse
middle of the ring, but there's no room. They usually do it on the outside.
Yeah,
There's no room.
yeah. But no, 4 out of 5. I thought it was a great match. So then we get to the main event, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Look at that. See, I said that normally I didn't go stupid with the name of the belt. The champion Roman Reigns defended against the winner of the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble match, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So much like a lot of Roman Reigns matches during his heel run, it was a slower match, but it was methodical. It was a method to it. He soaks up the crowd's heat and turns it into making everyone wait for what he's going to do.
Yes.
Solo Sikoa was an important factor early on.
Called it.
At one point, Cody reversed Roman's powerbomb and sent Roman through the commentary table,
Yes.
which was cool. Eventually, Cody hit the Cody Cutter, which they just call it the Diamond Cutter. Like, we know DDP is part of the Nightmare family, so just call it the Diamond Cutter. Solo kept interfering in the match, and eventually the referee ejected him from ringside. Cody hit the crossroads, but Roman kicked out. Cody countered a Superman punch into a pedigree. A pedigree, of all things. Particularly after, like, the first AEW pay-per-view where Cody smashed a throne with a sledgehammer.
Maybe he just likes Triple H.
Yeah. Roman countered the disaster kick with a Superman punch, which was pretty cool. Cody locked in a figure 4. Roman hit a spear. Roman locked in the guillotine. It was a standing guillotine, and then eventually he grapevined it and really locked it in. But Cody managed to get himself out of it. He was the first person to get out of the guillotine.
Using his sweat.
Yes.
Which is an interesting way.
Roman hit the Superman punch, but the referee was down. And then the Usos ran into the ring and started doing over Cody. And hit him with a 1D. And then massive pop from the crowd, because out through the crowd came KO and Sami Zayn to fight off the Usos. hit stunners and haluva kicks. KO hit a stunner on Roman Reigns, and Sammy hit a haluva kick on Roman Reigns.
The old double interference.
And then Cody countered a Superman punch into the bionic elbow, which I got to admit I popped a bit for. That was cool. Then Cody went to hit he hit two crossroads, went to hit a third one, and Solo Sikoa returned through the crowd and hit him with the Samoan spike. And then Roman did his super spear, where he bounces off the ropes a couple of times and hit him with the super spear. Got the pinfall, got the win, retains the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. Which, that ending, I got to admit, shocked me. I thought Cody had it.
We all did.
Yep.
You and me.
So, he was rather vocal during the match, and that's JB, so I'll let you go first, my friend.
Man, what a match. Just the build-up. Just everything. Everything the main event needed to be. But the ending is almost as shocking as Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker, honestly. Like, we were certain. This whole thing was just set for Cody Rhodes to win the belts. He won the Royal Rumble. He came back, he came back from AEW. He got hurt. He was out for 9 months with the torn pec. Comes back, wins the Royal Rumble, goes all the way to the main event of WrestleMania. Roman Reigns gets stunned and haluva kicked by KO and Sami Zayn. And it's just like, right, the table's even. And then Solo comes in and spikes him, and, Roman gets the spear to win. And it was a little deflating. I wanted to see Roman win it clean, to be honest. I mean, I guess heel champions don't do that. My only question now is, where to from here? 945 days as champion, and WrestleMania was the perfect time to have him drop the belts, and he didn't. And I don't know why. I don't know what the plan is.
Because I keep hearing that the plan is that next year at WrestleMania it's going to be Roman versus The Rock, and The Rock's going to take the belts.
You can't just keep the belts on him until The Rock's ready. The rumors was The Rock was going to be this year.
Yeah.
If The Rock changes his mind on a daily fucking basis, you can't just keep the belts on him until The Rock's ready.
Yeah, I think they sort of need to let go of the idea of The Rock doing the match. Or if they're going to do the match, I think they need to get the belts off Roman Reigns and just have it as Roman versus Rock, who is the dominant.
Oh, it should have.
Like it doesn't need the belts.
It somehow should have been Sami Zayn, but I wish the Sami Zayn storyline was a month later. Yeah. If it was Roman versus Sami for the belts at Mania. But I said it before, like, WWE drew themselves into a corner by bringing Cody Rhodes back.
Yeah.
Like, the plan was always for Cody Rhodes to become champion. And then Sami Zayn grew so organically that it should have been Sami. And it wasn't Sami. And now it turns out it's not even Cody. And I'm as shocked as all. I'm the biggest Roman fan here, obviously, but I'm just as shocked as you guys that Roman did not drop the belts tonight. And I don't know why. But the match was great. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I sort of wish Solo Sikoa had stayed out of it and Roman had done Cody over as clean as possible. But that's just me. Yeah.
Shay?
I wanted to give this match a 5 at the start. And towards the end, until the actual ending, I was going to give it a 5. But thanks to the shock ending, I'm only going to give it a 4. This match, with all of the build-up that it had to it with Cody, with all of the prior stuff that happened, with KO, Sammy, and the Usos there, this had the perfect conclusion to the story. A perfect conclusion. The Usos lost their titles. Big Us loses his title to Cody.
Yeah, it was so...
It's so
easily
poetic.
done and poetically done that the Bloodline walk out of WrestleMania with nothing.
Yeah, and then that inherently starts the breakdown of of the bloodline, which would be perfect. But they decided to go with a shock finish, which who knows what's going to happen later on down the track now. Nobody knows what's going to happen. That's
and now,
the thing.
and that's it. Who beats Roman now?
Yeah,
If not Cody, if not Sami Zayn, then who?
exactly.
You can't wait for The Rock.
Yeah, you can't wait another full year of him holding it. People are going to get sick and tired of him. Now is the perfect time to do it because he had the prestige of being champion for as long as he has. And he wasn't cold.
Do we know the
yet.
record? Did we figure out the record? Was
No,
Bruno
didn't.
Sammartino like 1,000 days?
It's over 1,000, yeah.
Roman could get to that by next year.
That's
But-
only because it was defended very sporadically.
Yeah, I know. Bruno Sammartino's record. Keep going.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking, who else can be in line to take the belt? I think Cody will eventually get it.
Mm.
But you've got Matt Riddle coming back soon. You've got Randy Orton coming back soon.
Yeah, no, Roman Reigns isn't going to break the record. It's 2,803
Jesus.
days. The combined reign by Sammartino is 4,040 days. So, no, Roman Reigns is not going to hold the belt for another 3 years.
But, yeah, you've got Matt Riddle coming back soon. You've got Randy Orton coming back soon. Cody Rhodes is still an option to put the belt on. And I still think he is the best option to put the belt on.
Well, it should have been now.
You can put it on Sami Zayn.
There's no point Cody Rhodes winning the belts at SummerSlam now. It's pointless.
I don't know.
This was his chance. Like, now what? Now, honestly, what? Who beats Roman Reigns after 1,000 days of being champion?
You're going to do
Who
it
beats him? But who's feasible to beat him?
Going to do it at Backlash.
Yeah, he's going to drop the belt to Backlash. to like,
You know who would be really funny to actually do the miracle and beat Roman Reigns for the belt? And you're going to laugh ridiculously at this. Baron Corbin.
Oh, for the love of God.
imagine it. He was the last person to pin Roman.
Exactly.
No. Don't. No. If you just curse
Nah,
this, I swear
nah,
to fucking God.
No,
No.
he's not
That would be
feasible.
the end of WWE. I would never watch WWE again.
Oh, God.
But
I just don't. I just honestly, even as Roman's biggest fan, just now there's no feasible option of him dropping the belts now.
But there's
The
only...
feasible option was Cody Rhodes beating him now, or the other feasible option was somehow getting Sami Zayn into the match, and it being a triple threat and Sami Zayn beating him. Now nothing makes sense. If Cody beats him at SummerSlam, who gives a fuck?
The only
now?
thing that makes sense is like the fucking Rock showing back up because he's the only, massive star that could actually do it. But even then, he'd be a paper champion because he'd lose it like...
Yeah, you're
next
not
pay-per-view.
putting the belts on The Rock because he's not going to be staying in WWE.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I just don't know what WWE do now.
The only other options, so you've got Cody Rhodes. You could try with Sami Zayn. You could try, not so much with Kevin Owens.
It's too late.
You could try with Orton, Matt Riddle. You could hope that the rumors are true and that Jay White has signed.
That'd be an interesting one.
That'd be
Jay
a
White
banner of a
big,
match.
is big enough to do that.
It could be
Kenny Omega.
Well, there are rumors they're trying to get Kenny Omega.
Kenny won't fucking change, man.
Kenny Omega's not beating Roman Reigns.
No.
Fuck off.
Or the longest odds out of the bunch, I think he's going to go for the US title, is Braun Breaker.
That's really good, actually. Like, Braun does have the star qualities in NXT, at least, to pull that off.
And he's got the other thing they can use in the storyline, which is it's another family legacy.
Yeah.
Not that they really want to mention Rick Steiner at the moment.
Or Scott.
Yeah. But it's another family legacy.
Yeah. Another massive name being the Steiners.
You know, so there's options there, but it's the one that sells the most amount of tickets. That's why I think they will still give Cody Rhodes a crack. I think they'll have another match at Backlash, and then Cody will win Money in the Bank and challenge at SummerSlam.
Mm.
And at that point, it's either drop the belt to him or move on.
Yep.
We'll go with the foreign correspondent. She gave it a 4.5. What a match. Classic all-American man taking on big power madman. Family legacy versus family legacy.
Meat slapping meat, pal.
Back and forth fighting for the win. Both men gave it their all and should be very proud of themselves. With interference coming from the Usos and Zayn Owens, was obvious from there Cody was going to win. But the surprise interference from Solo Sikoa returning to the ring blew that out of the window. So, yeah, I gave it 4.5. I actually really enjoyed the match, despite the fact that I was really tired and trying to find a comfy position. That's why I had to keep standing up, because my legs were cramping and everything. But I really enjoyed that match. Right, so we get to the final part of the night. Foreign correspondent hasn't answered this question, so I'll just put it on the screen when we go to do it. The whole pay-per-view, the whole WrestleMania. How many cheese graters, JB?
4. 4 cheese graters out of 5. It was a pretty good Mania. It was a pretty good Mania. There wasn't too many down moments, to be honest.
Yeah. Shay?
I give it a 4. As Johnny said, a brilliant Mania. There was only a very few select bad matches.
That'd have been like 2 bad matches.
Yeah.
And the Shane McMahon thing.
Hey, that was good. That was entertaining.
Which is fucking probably more just you poor bastard than anything else.
Exactly. But yeah, I very much enjoyed that. That's been one of my favourite Manias, actually, out of all of them.
That was a high quality Mania.
Absolutely.
It really was.
Well, I gave it a 4 as well. I think the big letdowns were the US title match.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but the women's matches.
Yep. Oh,
Not so much the Rhea Ripley Charlotte one, but the Bianca Belair one.
The Bianca Belair match was flat, and the triple tag match was flat.
The Fatal 4-Way.
The 4-way tag match was flat.
Especially when compared to the other one, the male.
And obviously we knew... I think Omos and Brock Lesnar over-delivered, because going into it I was just sitting there going, I don't really fucking care.
Come in with low expectations and be impressed.
If you go in with no expectations, then anything beyond that is fucking brilliant, right?
I think the highlight matches for me were... Look, the match of the entire card was the Undisputed Tag Team title match, followed closely by the Intercontinental title match. And then you had the Undisputed... The main event. The Undisputed World title match. And the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, agreed.
And the men's
tag.
So it's just packed full of good matches.
Yeah, it was just...
Yeah, the good absolutely overshadows the bad.
Oh, yeah.
And even the bad is decent enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
look,
I mean, you walk out of this not remembering the US title match or the crappy women's matches.
I'm not going to put the Austin Theory on. Yeah, I'll watch it at some point. But I mean, I'm not going to go back and watch the Belair match.
No.
I'm not going to go back and watch the Fatal 4-Way women's tag match. But I'm definitely going to go back and watch Roman. I'm definitely going to go back and watch the Cell match.
You're definitely going to go back and watch Shane McMahon.
I've got to go back and watch the men's tag match, because apparently that was epic.
It was.
But yeah, no, the good overshadows the bad.
So, yeah, that's our thoughts on that. The last thing to mention, too, was another news item that broke, is that Naomi is no longer under contract with WWE.
Oh.
Yep, she's left.
She's
coming
gone?
back.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's like, she came back and then didn't go on TV at all.
Yeah, nah.
It's like,
don't need you, don't want you, see you later, fuck off.
She'll probably go to New Japan with
Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, no, she can jog right on.
Good riddance.
And Mickie James had to relinquish the Impact Women's title because she has an injury.
And -1 was in the crowd.
Yep, -1. He was there.
And he's been the first AEW star to break the forbidden door. Because he's a contracted AEW star.
And apparently Tony Khan has a big announcement this week on Dynamite.
He always has a big announcement and it's shit.
Yeah, and it's always comes straight after WWE does a big.
I have a big announcement. What is it? I did a poo this morning.
Shit.
I
Thanks,
reckon.
Tony.
I reckon his big announcement is that at the next AEW pay-per-view, which is Double or Nothing, isn't it?
Yes, Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing.
Which is
CM Punk is going to return.
Fuck, that's gonna piss a lot of people off if that's the case.
I reckon if CM Punk returns, Kenny Omega's going to leave and go to WWE.
That's an even bigger call. I don't know if he'll do that to the Bucks though.
I think the Bucks will go as well.
Fuck, if your two EVPs leave and Kenny, they're fucked.
That's why I don't think bringing back CM Punk is such a brilliant idea. I think CM Punk is a landmine unto himself. I used to love the guy. He was cool. Like 10 years ago, he was awesome.
The Summer of Punk was like brilliant.
And
Even when he came back initially.
yeah, but
And then he just became self-absorbed fucking asshole.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, it's now 11:30,
yeah,
and
I'm not getting to bed till after 12 now.
neither will I. Right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us ramble on about WrestleMania for nearly 2 hours. Thoroughly enjoyed the show. It
was good. It was very good.
It was really awesome WrestleMania. We might be doing Backlash, and because what's the pay-per-view after Backlash?
Money in the Bank.
Is it Money in the Bank? Because they've got one running the same day as
Double or Nothing is
Double
Backlash.
Right. Okay.
Wait.
Well, looks like we're not doing Backlash. We're going to be doing AEW Double or Nothing.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Right. On behalf of myself, Beck, JB, Shay, and our other foreign correspondent who didn't come and watch it because he's up in Townsville. Love you, Shogo.
We miss you.
Thank you.
Konnichiwa. That means hello.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you in a few weeks' time with Double or Nothing. Until then, goodbye.